previous session, we had Serge take us through screens becoming more brilliant and impressive and immersive. But now the question is, as we go forward, how do we make the business behind cinema just as powerful? As audiences return, we're witnessing a dramatic shift in where revenues are being generated, because it's no longer just about ticket sales. F&B has become a blockbuster in its own right. We have PVR Inox, for instance, which saw nearly 36% of its Q1 FY25 revenues coming from food and beverages alone, with everything from gourmet popcorn to craft beverages enhancing the experience. Globally, too, food and beverages contributes as much as 50% of cinema revenues in mature markets. Advertising is another star performer with over 500 million cinema goers annually in India. Brands see theaters as one of the last truly captive premium and high-impact environments. We have cinema ad revenues in India alone see a growth of over 27% this year, fueled by tech-enabled targeting and immersive campaigns. Add to that AI, analytics, and experiential brand activations, and we're no longer talking about cinema as just a place to watch films. They're evolving into data-driven, high-value engagement hubs. The opportunity lies in blending these streams, ticketing, food and beverage, advertising, tech, to create a monetization model that is future-proof. And that brings us to our next panel discussion today. The monetization mix, how food and beverage, AI, tech, and brand power are redefining cinema revenue. To explore this exciting future, we have with us an exciting and distinguished panel of leaders who are shaping the business of cinema. Please join me in welcoming on stage Anish Patel, founder and director of Complex Cinemas, a pioneer in redefining the multiplex experience with innovation at its core. We have joining us on stage Mr. Kunal Savne, COO and Business Development Head at MovieMax, driving aggressive expansion and next-gen customer engagement strategies. We have Rudra Prasad Daw, Vice President and Business Head at SVF Cinemas, who brings expertise from one of the most dynamic regional cinema markets in India. May I please invite Mr. Samir Munshi, Vice President of Operations at Mirage Cinemas, known for pushing operational excellence and premium F&B experiences across India. May I please invite Mr. Srinivas Musham, Chief General Manager, Media Planning at Kushi Advertising, a specialist in unlocking the power of cinema advertising for some of the biggest brands in the country. And Mr. Thomas Peace, Director of Sales at Preferred Popcorn, bringing global insights on how premium concession strategies can drive per capita revenues. Now, to lead this discussion, we have an industry voice you all know very well. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sridhar Pillai, one of India's most respected trade and entertainment analysts, whose insights cut through the noise and highlights what truly matters in the business of cinema. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give our panelists a huge round of applause. Over to you, Mr. Pillai. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are here for another session, and I want to make it interesting, and because F&B is now today the heart and soul of theatrical business. Like, it's going to be almost 50% of the total revenue of theaters are going to come from F&B. And I think a very, very distinguished panel is here. And just introduce yourself, each.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Anish Patel. I'm the founder of Complex Cinemas Limited. For those who don't know us, we are Ahmedabad-based company having operational 75 screens and coming up with 150 more screens. Recently, we got listed. We got listed our company. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. Kunal Sahani from Movie Max. We started this company 4 years back, and we are operational across India right now. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rudro from Calcutta, West Bengal. And our company is based out of the East, completely focused on, we're primarily a film production company, did some backward integration. So we now have around 60 screens in West Bengal. 25 screens are being made as we speak right now. So the focus is to take the Bengali cinema and the Bengali film industry ahead. And our founders, Mr. Mahindra Soni and Mr. Shrikant Mohta, have entrusted me with this process. So yeah, looking forward for an engaging chat today. Thank you.
Hi, this is Samir Munshi from Miraj Cinemas, managing operations as a capacity of Vice President. Miraj currently having 230 screens across the length and breadth of the country. And we plan to open another 70 more screens and touching the 300 mark very soon. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Srinivas. So I'm from Kushi Advertising. So we are one of the largest cinema advertiser in terms for cinema. So we are contributing approx 30% to Indian cinema addicts. So that will be the feature. We are going to be one of the biggest contributor to increase our addicts in cinema.
Hi, I'm Thomas Peace, and you can probably turn my microphone down. I'm from Preferred Popcorn. I'm the director of sales here at Preferred Popcorn. We are the #1 exporter of US popcorn. We ship to 75 different countries. We also produce the best quality and most popcorn produced in India ever. We're producing popcorn in India for India, and we could not be more proud of that. And I am honored to be a part of this panel. Thank you.
Let's go back into time in the 80s and 90s when F&B was outsourced by major theaters, mostly single screens. Only after the multiplexes came, the owners, the multiplex, the companies, they started operating F&B. And that is the reason why where we are today is because of the modernization, and from 5% of the revenue that is the contractor used to give, now today almost 50% of a theatrical revenue comes from F&B, and that's very, very crucial. And theaters are now gearing up more for F&B because as cinema attendance rebounds, advertisers, brands, and others are very much concerned about F&B and the revenue. It is the best revenue source for any cinema theater in India. So let's start.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why you have bought in a new cinema complex, but how are you managing your F&B?
So correctly, what you said is like F&B, nobody outsources it these days, right? Because I think one cinema F&B collection is at times more than a Domino's outlet also. So F&B, it's doing great. It's doing perfectly all right. But I think going forward, how tech and AI would help us in curating more business on F&B would be like why, so right now we do it like I don't make my own pizza in my cinema. We just, whatever the best pizza brand is in my city, we get their pizza delivered at our cinema and we sell, sell that pizza, right? Number two is whenever we go into a flight, right, we pre-book our meal. That, okay, I'm interested in eating this type of sandwich or this type of food. So I think going forward, we should also have this kind of pre-book food. The food which is location based, which is not available in your, we cannot make it. Like I cannot make a paradise biryani in my cinema. I mean, he's the best at what he does. So why not having that? If you can book that pre-book into the cinema and have it.
Yeah.
We can, looking at the audience, looking at the movie, we can see today's consumer is unpredictable, but it is very much programmable. We
Okay.
can program that.
Okay, got your point. Yeah, but see, F&B has evolved. Kunal, I would like to get an answer from you on this. Is that many years back, they used to have a board outside the theater saying, outside the auditorium saying, no food was allowed inside, no eatables allowed inside. From those days, we have come a long way. So, what is the choice of the food that is now there? Are you going for sticky food, or I mean, the kind of food that is there in the theater?
So rightly said, now it is not just that you come for a movie. Food is a very internal part of it, and it combines the overall experience. When we say that cinema is no longer just a come for a movie and go experience, food is one of the major important part of the cinema. Yes, food has evolved from old popcorns and soda bottles, just an outsource, as you told. Now it is more like a restaurant. So yes, it differs from cinema to cinema. What category of cinemas are we catering to? But it is not less than a restaurant. In fact, food like fresh pizza, fresh tandoori items, to sushis and everything is available if the demand is there. Depends on which location you have. Are you in a tier 2 city? Are you in a metro city? So our target for all cinema operator here is not only the cinema food, but also the nearest restaurant. Another reason to hear it is, first people used to come to cinema and then book their meal outside or go to a food court. But now it is where they come for a cinema and they plan their meal inside the cinema. So you need to give them the entire thing which they demand for.
Okay. Rudra, what I would like to ask you is that, does the pricing, is it important for them?
Absolutely, sir. So if you actually look at India, we are the world's largest demography, and I mean the largest democracy, and every 50 kilometers, the demography changes. The language, the way people go for movies or the restaurant, the food, everything changes. So a one-size-fits-all kind of a strategy can never work in a country like India. So what we've done in our 28 different locations, we've got different pricing strategies based on the local connect that we've built. Everywhere we've gone, even if it's 5 or 10 rupees, there is a difference. It is not something that we sit from the headquarters and just say, you have to price it at 100 rupees. It could be 90, it could be 110. So, and it is even a 5 or 10 rupee difference makes a massive difference in the consumer buying.
What I found in theaters recently where
Yes,
I
sir.
visited is that there is also a lot of Indian variety foods,
Yes.
which the screens were never
Yes,
there
yes.
before. Because a lot of food, Indian food, and especially everybody has opened, Bel Puri and all that kind of stalls itself in the
Exactly,
theater.
yeah.
What would you say about that?
Up until, like, let's say, even 2-3 years back or even pre-COVID, popcorn and cold drink were the hero items. But now, post-COVID, we've also had to re-strategize. And we are looking at a place where the kitchens have changed. Like Kunal rightly pointed out, Nish pointed out, live kitchens have come in. And chaats, samosas, your hot kathi rolls, all of these are also selling. Something which was unthinkable. Like, we would actually not let people walk in with a roll, but now we are serving them inside the auditorium. So yeah, I mean, the consumer trend has changed, and we are also adapting to it.
Sameer, what I would like to ask you is
I
that,
just like to add something on the pricing, what he said. And it's a very valid question because this is a very big debate that the pricing in the cinema is very high. So it all depends, what he rightly said is depend on the ambience of the cinema. Now, what we have started to do, taking the right example of bhel, because, we can't sell bhel, which is an price point of 20, 30 rupees in the cinema. So in our cinema, we have multi-grain puffed avocado bhel, which is a twist, and then you can sell it at 250 rupees also, because you have presented it the right way. So that is what we have to do it more personalized menu.
Yeah. Samir, anything you would like to add on?
No, I completely agree actually. But there is something also I would like to add here is the brand power. There is a brand recognition also that you cannot price a certain product or a certain item at your property, equivalent to a brand which is, sitting at the top of the country and, expect the same audience coming in at your property. It all depends, as Kunal rightly said, it's all depends on the property to property, where the property is situated, what is the clientele coming actually, and what is the behavior pattern of the people of that particular center. The consumption habit of the people of that particular center plays a very vital role. I also agree that, there were times where the concessions were outsourced, as we discussed. And now, from that outsource, it's slowly, gradually came into a JV format. From the JV format, now the multiplex chains of the countries have started building their own kitchens also. And, and that's how it is evolving. And that is where the extra revenue generation is coming up.
Yeah. Now, my question is to Thomas. Popcorn is the king of concessions of the cinema theater business. A lot of people say that they make more money out of popcorn rather than the revenue from the major film itself. So how important has popcorn become to the Indian cinema business?
Yes, well, I'm very grateful that popcorn has been an integral part of cinema for so long in India. But it doesn't stop here. And this panel wants to talk about innovation. We want to talk about what's coming next and how AI plays a part in that. And so what we always say with popcorn, because popcorn is an 85 to 95% profit from the bag you buy to the bag you sell, it's an 85 to 95% profit. It also, just popcorn by itself, globally, makes up 40% of the profit globally of cinema. 40% is from popcorn itself. So what we always tell people is, don't say to be creative we have to move away from popcorn. What we always tell people is, take popcorn and be creative. Move away from just butter popcorn or maybe caramel popcorn and do other flavors.
Yeah.
And I love what was said about how there is no one solution pan-India. Do regional flavors of popcorn. And because we all know that for every person that buys another F&B product, if they don't buy popcorn, you're actually losing revenue.
Yeah, but
so being creative is so important in popcorn.
Yeah, in India, only popcorn is available in cinema theaters. Why is it that? Has it made the cinema theaters more popular over the years just because the popcorn is in?
Well, the great thing about popcorn in cinema is that's the only place generally you can get hot popcorn, right? If you want hot popcorn, you have to go to the cinema. Ready-to-eat popcorn, prepackaged popcorn, is huge globally. Huge. It's everywhere in every country, ready-to-eat popcorn. And US cinemas, the largest US cinema, AMC, is now making a ready-to-eat popcorn to sell in stores, not hot. But then they recommend that you microwave it to make it hot before you eat it. So there is a crossover, I believe, between cinema and ready-to-eat popcorn that could eventually happen in India. But for right now, I'm very grateful that cinema is the place to go for popcorn.
Okay. Now, as important as food and beverages is advertising. If you have noticed, there are many screens which have now got almost the interval is around 15 to 20 minutes. Remember, once upon a time, the interval was 5 minutes. Today, programming is under tremendous pressure, especially if you have a film which runs nearly 3 hours, I don't know how to fit in the interval. And you have to have 5 shows. And how do you fit in that? And that's where advertisement is now big revenue earner for the cinema screens, and theaters are there which is showing 25 minutes of advertisement in the interval space, so that also the reasoning there is that the sale of the canteens would be very high. So what's your viewpoint? How has advertisement evolved, Srinivas, over the years? Why are we seeing 20 minutes of super prime ad time?
Coming to your point, I agree, major mega blockbusters having a 20-25 minute sites, I agree. So if you see, look at the trend in past, pre-COVID also, post-COVID also. So the advertisers, what they want, nowadays, they want effectiveness. Okay. So if you see the trend, you cannot, stay on the advertising want an effect, because, attention is becoming a major issue for them, for everyone. Okay. So cinema where, comes into a play to the advertisers, where you can advertise, within a captive audience, you can target a captive audience. So the advertisers are heavily investing in cinema because of one reason, you get a captive audience, okay, and no other medium. Obviously, digital give you the real-time experience. In cinema, it won't. Okay, so coming to your question, so why the blockbusters having in a big ad inventory time? If you see past 10 years data, all action movies are crossing 1,000 crores. And by looking at the gross of box office numbers, whatever films crossed 1,000 crores, be it from Pushpa to now War 2 and Coolie, now Triple R, KGF. So these brands are taking only big blockbusters movies. Okay, so controlling ad inventory, it is not in anybody's control. It is an ecosystem. Everybody has to control. So we have taken a measures. So we have started charging a premium.
Yeah, but now ads are also gone 4K and all that. And earlier, it is not the normal like old Nirma ads and all that. People are spending money on ads to be shown in theaters. Is there a special theatrical ad compared to the television ad?
Yeah, if we see nowadays cinemas is using a technology like cinemas has come up with IMAX and 4DX. So brands wants to use this technology. Okay, see example is a movie is coming in 4DX. So if you see the trend has become example last movie is in a Mission Impossible 7 MI7. What automobile brands have did? They've converted the entire 4DX content converted into a 4DX format to give an experience. So the brands are optimizing the content, converting the content into 4DX and to give an experience to the audience. That's how the technology playing in a crucial role in cinema also when it comes to advertisers also.
Okay. Samir, how is the AI playing a role in F&B?
AI is going to be the next, which is going to be very big and which has already been started. Especially in Mirage, if I want to add here is that in terms of F&B, we have developed our own API named as Pop Express, wherein the entire data has been captured at the back end. And we, from that particular database, we understand, the pattern and behavior again of the consumption of food and beverage as to a particular person who is repeatedly coming at your property. So what is his consumption? For example, is coming every week or maybe once in a quarter or once in a month, whatever the frequency of movie watching habit he has. But what actually is he consuming? Is he consuming a popcorn whenever he comes in, or he likes to buy a food instead of a popcorn? So the next time whenever he steps in at our property, there is a notification which goes to him when he signs in into the theater, saying that, welcome and, your food is ready, whatever it is. No. And during the interval and again a notification goes back to him to order. So that's how, the AI is going to play a very crucial role to understand the need of a customer right from the time he is booking the tickets and till the time he exits.
Anish, how would you do your programming in taking into consideration F&B, which brings you 50% or more, it'll be much more in the future, and 50% of your revenue comes from F&B. So how do you do your programming? Like, let's say a film like War 2, the runtime of the movie is almost 3 hours. So how do you fit in your interval space?
So programming technically has to be done in such a way that, his particular, so normally at evening 5 we crave for food, right? 5 or 6. And says 7:38 is the dinner time. So that time you should not give a exit to the consumer. That okay, your movie starts at 5:30 and you're exiting at 8 p.m. because then he'll go out and eat the food. So you have to cover his dinner time, his craving time in such a way that you monitorize those particular periods from him. And rather than programming, I think, see, right now our industry is not that much tech enabled or AI enabled, but going forward, a lot of things will change because the viewer is with us for 3-4 hours. He's for less than 2 hours on some social media, and they have his all behavior and information. So, we will be having a lot of data of the viewer in future time. And with tech and AI, we'll be able to serve him whatever he wants it. Or we can, program his craving and then we can serve it also.
Kunal, would you say the box office collections of the Hollywood movies are good, but what about the box office, your F&B revenue when Hollywood movies or films which lesser length, where you can fix in your interval block?
So, interval timing, yes, it's an important question, but it all starts from your ambience and how you are doing it. So it's not only the interval timing, the smallest of the thing, how product we display, how we have the aroma inside the auditorium which entice customers to eat more. So there are very small minutiae of things which we have to pay attention. If you have a very heavy fragrance, then people will not, they'll feel more full. So it starts from there. And then food displays are there. You go inside, as Samir said, tracking the customer database. So we don't have a single printer. We are cashless cinema. So we continue their patterns. So if a customer is eating A, can we push him to eat Y? And nowadays what is happening, and there are a lot of customers who are coming in the mind saying that we have to eat. And eating is something, if I am sitting and Rudra is sitting, if I start eating, he will also feel like I also have to eat. So that's what we try to see. Who's our easy target? Are there kids whom we can sell? And then Hollywood or mass or regional movie, the pricing and the product changes. So we can't have the same pricing for a F1 as compared to Mahasar Narsimha, because the product will be different. F1 customer will eat more of nachos and hot dog, where this will eat more of samosa. Popcorn goes always, Thomas, but the right popcorn, not the normal popcorn. So, that's how we do it. Pricing is a very important, and what product are we doing? So we do a lot of combos, lot of discounted combos at early morning or depending on the mass crowd to sell our items.
Got your point. Rudra, so you mean to say, how do you look at the audience profile? Because for many movies, it's the youth that drives the films in India. Almost 80% of the youth audiences. So does it reflect on the sales in F&B also? Like he was saying that nachos and popcorn sells better with a certain section of the viewers, while the family audience may prefer something else. What are your experience?
Sir, we always segregate the customers basis the movie that we are running. Let's say a Sanyara, which was like an eye-opener for the entire Indian movie industry. It had the Gen Zs, the millennials, almost more of Gen Zs than millennials walking in, who have a very strict budget. So what all the chains did, we immediately pivoted into a model where we had better combo deals, where you could get value for even 99 rupees, be it a chain of our size or the biggest chain in the country. Everyone catapulted into that game. And that drove the numbers, because these are people who have the money to spend, but they're very wise where they want to spend it. So we too have to kind of play along with it. apart from that, like rightly pointed out by all my co-panelists, whenever there is a family movie, the ticket size of every transaction is much larger than, let's say, a couple walking in or an individual walking in. So action movies would always be like a group of friends or maybe even an individual. Love story would be a couple, and a family movie, let's say a Mahavatar Narsimha. Like Kunal pointed out, it is an eye-opener for us that an animated movie where people are literally leaving their shoes and slippers outside, they walk in, they also want to have pure veg food, because that's like the Indian way of showing the devotion to the gods. And we saw a massive surge in veg food. So we had to pivot over there as well. Thomas, popcorn always goes handy, like Kunal pointed out. But you know, the chaats, the samosas, everything.
Yeah. Samir, do you feel that certain shows, your food sales are increasing or down? What is your feeling? Like, some people say that evening and night are the best, while noon is pretty weak.
Exactly. So, yeah, as you know, you're coming to your question which you asked to Kunal, during the Hollywood films, how the F&B spends are. So, during Hollywood films, the entire genre and the clientele completely changes. And I think everyone here sitting on the panel would agree with me that the sales during such films are at their peak levels. So if you go and see the ATP to SPH ratio during a Hollywood film coming would be a 50-50 ratio, wherein again, as Rudra pointed out, that if there is a Sayyara film releasing, the spend per head, which is the spend per patron, decreases, and the ATP SPH ratio falls down from between 30 to 40%. So that's how it is.
No, does your food item itself change for, let us say, for F1 and for Narasimha?
Basically, see, I mean, 80 to 90% it remains the same. It's a bit of a menu engineering happens only when, you know, you have a certain, where if you have a brand collaboration with any of the production houses or anything, you form a separate combo or any product, you know, which may go with that particular film. So it's like a added value to that particular product, which goes along with that. For that particular film, it is engineered.
And it's a question to all. Do you have an R&D department to look at what sells best? And are you trying to improve the food quality or the food, I mean, variation of the food? Maybe some theaters will say, okay, I'll go for nachos, while others will say, no, I'll go for an Indian wrap or something like that. Something new I'll bring in, which will become a bestseller.
So yes, this keeps on changing depending on the movie, the festival, so if there is a Navratri, then there is a Navratri festival. We try to keep it more simple. We don't want to complicate. All the food which is easy to eat, you can sit inside, eat easily in the dark area. That's the whole highlight. We want to keep it as simple as possible, and we play around with things around so that it's presented the right way.
Okay.
I think my view is that more or less the items are going to remain the same. Popcorn is always going to remain at the top.
No, popcorn is the common factor.
But popcorn is always going to remain the top. I don't know what product is going to replace popcorn. I don't see anything happening in the near future or in the long run too. But yeah, there is a certain shift of people, you know, buying different options which are available today. After all these live kitchen formats and chef corner formats which have come in. But still, I think popcorn remains at the top.
Regarding popcorn, Thomas, you have bought in a lot of exotic varieties of popcorn, exotic varieties. Yeah, but what sells best is still the salted popcorn. So are you also trying to attract the audiences by coming out with more popcorn varieties, or are you sticking to your basics?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, we always want to respond to the consumers and what they want. And so butter popcorn globally, in 90% of the world, butter or salt popcorn is still number one. There are a few exceptions. In Germany, they prefer sweet popcorn in the cinemas over butter popcorn. And in China, they prefer mushroom popcorn over butterfly popcorn. So there are some exceptions to that, but butter popcorn is globally #1. But there has never been more innovation with popcorn flavoring and popcorn varieties than there are today. CGV in South Korea, which is the largest cinema group in South Korea, has what they call in their cinema the popcorn laboratory, where they trial new varieties and new flavors of popcorn every month, and the ones that gain traction, they keep and they spread to the rest of their cinemas. So they've created a customer-based R&D department where they're asking the customer, which do you like best of these 6 flavors? And the one they choose, then they extrapolate that to the rest of the country. And so absolutely, we always want to support butter popcorn, but there is always more room for innovation with popcorn.
Yeah, but what are the theater owners saying about, sticky butter popcorn, and you come into the theater and how are your seats?
I'm leaving that to you. You have a great answer for that.
Thank you. So, yes, definitely it happened with us also. It happens with everybody. So a hand gets sticky, and then eventually the viewer, they just rub it on their chair.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we, especially Rahul, my partner at Complex, he came up with this idea that anyways we're giving tissue paper, right? Let us give a wet tissue to him, so that eventually he'll get that good fragrance also from that wet tissue, and he'll clean his hands and he'll put it on the seat or on the swivel table. So that is how we came up with, we give wet tissues to everybody who buys not just popcorn, samosas or whatever it is.
Okay.
But Thomas, I wanted to add you to this. So you are very lucky in that sense, because popcorn is something, the food looks very, it looks like guilt-free, healthy. It's a great munching, so those are the added points where it is always comes at the first choice of a consumer.
I must say, it's a very good problem to have. I don't mind all my seats getting dirty if everybody is eating a popcorn or whatever they are eating.
Okay, yeah, Baba, you have your backup crew too.
No, but that's a great idea, what Anish is having at his property. As a value-added service also, it goes very well. From a customer service point of view, I think that's a great initiative.
Going forward, we can give that space to Kushi guys. They
That's
will
right.
do some advertisement.
He can sell the space on your wet tissue.
Rather than spending on that wet tissue, eventually he'll get us money. And we'll,
See, I'll answer your question, see, coming to your question, what I'm saying, to brands now, the plainly not advertising in FCT, okay. As I told you earlier, brands want an effectiveness. So no other medium, cinema can give you the best effectiveness, when it comes to, compared to digital versus cinema, okay. So now brands want to amplify, the budget is dividing between the on-screen and off-screen. So now more the 20% budget will go to an off-screen. Wherever you can do, F&B, you can name F&B counter, X brand, and F&B counter, popcorn. A lot of brands have invested, if you can say, Netflix has invested heavily in popcorn branding. Like recently, Ether has invested heavily in popcorn branding. So is in near future, all the brands probably want to invest in the off-screen media.
Yeah, so now coming, look at the future. How do you see advertising? Will there be more advertising in cinema theaters than before? Because I'm told there's a huge drop in television advertising. They want live programming in cinema theaters, because you have a captive audiences. And for that, they're looking at spending more money on technology and making better ad films. How do you see that in the future?
See, as I told you, we cannot replace cinema with any other medium, okay. So still cinema contributes less than 1% to Indian addicts, okay.
Yeah.
So what brands are more interested, they want to give an experience to the consumer, a customer, okay, where you will find these customers. You will find the customers in cinema.
No, here what I'm telling you is that if it's a 30-second ad, cannot be carried in the channels. But in cinema, you have 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or 1 minute ads, the same product where they give a more visibility. So some of the advertisers are saying, let's go local, let's go for these kind of ads. And keep those 10 seconds for the big cricket matches and other things, while soaps and other things on television suffer.
That can be possible, that brands can be, target that video section geographically. So that using AI technology, which, ad format is working in better in regional levels, I mean to say, okay. With AI coming into the picture, okay. So if brand wants to give make an ad to a creative agency, it takes a hell of time. They take at least
Yeah.
30 days. So now with AI coming in a picture, you can replace in 2 days. So brand can, using a technology, you can amplify those technology in regionally where the creative is working better, 45 second, 10 second, 20 second. You can use that. That will be the future of cinema advertising. Okay.
Okay, but now outside of the auditorium also, I've seen a lot of places where there are, kiosk and all that, where ads are there. Especially in multiplexes, they're giving out space inside the auditorium. So what sort of advertisement is there and what is it?
So as I told you earlier also, brands are not heavily investing in FCT, not restricting to ad film. They are diverting their budget on off-screen also. At Kushi, we are heavily investing in airports and malls in digital assets. So we are going to bring that digital assets to a cinema lobby where customer can engage with the content where can display it in digital assets in the lobby. So that's the future of advertising. We can replace it. Already, I think US is already started. In India, we're going to do that actually. So that is our future. That is our solution to the advertisers when it comes to off-screen digital lobby.
Now, I need your answer for how do you see the future of F&B in India? Start. In theaters.
Yes, yes.
As more and more screens are coming up, now I think we got nearly 10,000 screens, and the kind of boom that's happening in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, especially in southern states, is huge. So there'll be more revenue, and F&B is the most crucial element in all these cinema screens. They want to, people who are running restaurants want to do cinema business because they feel that there's huge potential, there's huge thing.
Sir, the pricing, the F&B is definitely a very crucial part in the cinema because, anyways, we are not charging that bomb on the ticket price. And you know how much space and everything investment is there in a cinema. So F&B going forward, I think a lot of, coming up with AI and tech-enabled things will help us in, it can help us into almost doubling up the collection of F&B.
Okay.
Using the right thing at the right audience with the right permutation combination, we can do wonders.
But at the end of the day, it will be the content that will be driving people to the theaters, or do you feel good food alone can bring in audience to theaters?
So,
Because
content is king, right? If the content is there, then see, we sell him food once he is in the cinema. If he is not in the cinema, we cannot sell him the food. But there are a lot of different things like we can enable his or activate his sensory things by showing up. Say, I'm sitting here, right? And a 3D popcorn pops up on my seat. That will activate my sensory things to go and buy this thing. Or maybe we can, just release some kind of perfumes or something which will activate our sensory things. We can give him a lot of visual things in the lobby area which will provoke him to buy food. So eating is something we all know that, okay, I have to eat this much, and it is like, but the thing is, how can we provoke him to, though he is not hungry, we can feed him, we can sell him.
so Kunal, what do you feel about it?
I think yes, content is the king, but when the movie is not doing good, what we do, we have something known as home delivery, which everybody who's sitting here, I'm sure, will have an app and must have ordered.
Yeah.
So we have in space, we have the staff, we have the infrastructure. We don't have people inside, but we can definitely send the food. There is a single-digit percentage of our sale which is coming through online delivery, and I'm sure this percentage will keep going up because we have the infrastructure which we can, and now with the technology, we can easily, send this food and we can get the restaurant to their mobile. I think that's where it will come to.
That is becoming increasingly popular, that you order from the restaurant via Swiggy or Zomato.
So our cinema food is also being registered on these platforms with a different brand. That's where we get this monetization, especially on weekdays where the occupancy is lower.
So
we are
what you're
able to
saying is business is going to be bigger and better in future.
It will keep increasing, yes, it will, because the consumption of food has started to increase a lot between Gen Zs and all across. So on weekdays, we want to promote more so that we can send more foods to their house.
Rudra?
I personally feel that pre-COVID and post-COVID, we are yet to get the footfall back into the theaters. There is still 20% of those people who used to watch movies before COVID, they are yet to come back to the cinemas. So to do that, I think all of us are now waking up to the need of rationalizing the prices, bringing in better combo deals, making sure the ticket prices are well priced on weekdays, and looking at the menu from a completely different perspective, having more people buy than just the niche audience buying. So the ticket size is increasing. And I think something that we've seen, the more we try to rationalize these things, people are coming back to the theaters.
Okay. So Samir?
I think over a period of years, the sales of F&B has only increased day by day. I think the percentage towards the total top line of the company, if you go to see way back before a decade or so, was just a very minuscule number. But today it is contributing to more than 25 to 30% of the total top line, I guess.
36% for
So it is
PVR.
more than 30% now. So this clearly indicates that, F&B is not going to go anywhere. Only thing is what I feel is, what important is the content again. There is a good content, people coming in, the sales are going to be humongous, awesome. That's the only key, I think, to this thing. Plus, addition to this is what Kunal rightly said is there is a little room now as this AI and technology has come up. There are home deliveries. Like for example, we do at couple of our properties, one at IMAX Vadala in Mumbai and one in Coimbatore. So we have, started this Cafe by Mirage Cinemas, and it's listed on Zomato. So, and other platforms where you can, sitting at home, order, your food, maybe anything, whatever you feel like. Whenever you visit a Vinod Cinemas, like you like a pizza, so sitting at home also, whether you don't come for to watch a movie, you can order at home.
Yeah.
So that can be served.
So Thomas, would popcorn still remain the #1 superstar in theaters?
Yes, it will, for sure.
How you are being threatened by the nachos and other things?
No, honestly, I think to answer your question that you've been asking them, I think coming to this show, talking to these cinemas, can only get you excited about the future of food and beverage in India. Just like what we've been seeing with technology advances, just like what we've been seeing with seating advancements, all of these different things, F&B will be no different. There is endless room for creative growth in F&B if we will only take the time to do it. And with AI, we can go from saying, I want to know what's happening with this city, to I know what's happening with every consumer that I have, and I know how to sell them my popcorn.
But in US, I think AI is playing a major role in F&B.
It is, from ordering, even, we all have logistics. That's all of us have to deal with logistics. AI is taking over logistics for cinemas in the US, where they're doing their planning based on footfall in their cinemas. So even when they're ordering popcorn or ordering oil, They are looking at AI data to then order future production. All the way through AI to the ordering process on your phones. They're looking at what you click on, how many times. The kiosks in the theater, they're looking at what you look at on the kiosk, and then they're selling you based on the things you're looking at, the movie that you're seeing, the age group that you're in. All of these things help us to set our pricing. They help us to give the correct dynamic pricing for our products to better reach every single footfall in our cinemas.
What would be your advice to Indian filmmakers to increase F&B sales? Should their film be shorter, less than 3 hours? And also the genre of the movie, that is whether it should be action or family, which improves your sales?
So, I mean, the point blank answer which comes to me is like you show the
because
food.
people say that in South India that certain films are family oriented. My F&B sales are superb, but at the same time, this film, okay, it's an action film. It has done well. Only the youth have come in, but the families are not coming in. Certain film. I'm not mentioning any names, but how do you go about this kind of difference?
Yes, so if a film, I mean, inside the film, in the scenes, if there is something which provokes them to, go and eat, like, every time we see a movie, there is a hero or villain, they keep on drinking, right? And while they talk, while they meet, they keep on drinking. So actually, to me, it provokes that, okay, I need to drink now.
Kunal?
I slightly don't agree to this question. I'll give you an example. End of the day, they should be concentrating on making good movies. Take an example of a movie called Shaitan, where interval was very abrupt, and if you have seen that movie, you will not come out and eat anything for next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But we
Ajay
were
Devgan.
still happy because it got huge crowd. With that less eating also, a collection was higher than a bad content. So let them concentrate on making good content and get footfall. We know how to make our people eat.
Okay, great. That's a very good answer.
Very good answer.
Rudra?
Absolutely, it's not time dependent. The content is the king. That is the last word for all of us seated here. To make good movies, we'll make great money from food. That is for sure.
Again, yes, it doesn't depend on the length of the movie, whether it is a 3.5-hour film or a 3-hour film. Doesn't make any difference to the people. It's the environment and the movie content which creates an atmosphere actually, where a family comes to enjoy the film, definitely you will see the sales going automatically high.
Okay.
So it all depends on the movie and how it is,
And advertising, does it?
So coming to your point, there is a recent research by the Mint article, I was reading, 14 days back, compared to US and India. So the shorter the film, the lesser the story building, I mean to say, So still the format is working 3 to 4 hours, 2.5 hours to 3 hours in India still working. We can say good storytelling. Obviously, if the good storytelling, the movies perform it well at box office, eventually it will gain the momentum of advertising.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there is an F&B solution for every movie. If the content is there, there is an F&B solution for every movie. If you have a movie that everybody that leaves the movie is not going to eat, everyone that comes to that movie, I better be selling F&B to before they walk in. Because if they leave and don't eat, I'm missing my opportunity. And so I think, right, it's the job of the industry to produce good content. It is our job to create an F&B option for every cinema experience.
So that was a very interesting conversation. And let's hope Indian cinema rocks and, looking forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
May I please request our panelists to please remain with us on stage just a little longer. Do we have any questions from the audience? Gentlemen, may I please request you to please remain seated? We'll just take a couple of questions, after which we will request our audience to do the same offline.
So my name is Hardik Sindhu and I'm from Khush Advertising. My question is for Konoplex, for Anish and Kunal both. So nowadays what happen is from the brand and for advertisement perspective, if you are running any kind of advertisement of any one brand in one particular OD, then as per the standard system, our advertisement in run across all the shows or either 3 random shows, right? But if any branch wants to target particular movie, say for example, OD1 having 3 shows of Vote 2 and 2 shows of Sayyara. If branch want to target only Vote 2, then is it possible with the help of technology or server or your projection system, or we have to do it manually, or it is not possible at all?
Going forward, things will be very much possible. I mean, everything will go, जैसे for right now, if I want to do my advertisement on Meta, right? It's a very plug and play system. I just have to put my banner, I select the target audience, I select the target age group, what business they are into, whatever, everything is customizable. With the help of technology going forward, this will be the thing. You can put your advertisement in any screen. Once everybody comes on the tech platform, you can even do 1 ad or 5 ad in a particular show, in a particular movie, at a particular location. All these things will be possible. Right now we are going the very contemporary way. You know, that we sell a cinema, the advertisers, they sell a cinema and the advertisement is weekly. But there are a lot of things, even we can moderate what the viewer want to see. And we can show him that kind of, similarly what the Meta does, Facebook and everything. You see what you want to see. The same thing will come in cinema also. You will see the advertisement which you actually want to see, which you like it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You want to add something? He tagged you also.
I think it's similar, right?
I think in our cinema you can do that, and we are already doing. So a classic example, if it's an A-rated trailer which we want to show, so we showcase only an A-grade movie if it's an adult movie. So if you want to do an advertisement for show-based or one particular slot or only any Saturday evening 6:30 slot, it is possible, and it is there.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions, please? Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to take this moment to thank our panelists for an incredible discussion. And may I request you to stay back on stage just a little longer. I would like to invite on stage Raghav to kindly take this moment and on behalf of the Big Cine Expo, to present a token of our appreciation to all our panelists here. A heartfelt thank you to all of you, gentlemen on stage, for taking our time, for being here with us, and for delighting us as well as inspiring us with your thoughts today. You've given us so much to take back from here and so many things to think and ponder on. Truly inspiring. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's have a huge round of applause for them, please. Our panelists on stage have beautifully highlighted how the cinema business is reinventing itself, from AI-driven audience insights to brand-led F&B, innovation and targeted advertising. It is clear that the theater of today is no longer just a screen, because it is a powerful ecosystem of storytelling, technology, and immersive engagement. The future belongs to those who can harness these tools to elevate both audience experience as well as revenue growth. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May I request our panelists to please come forward together for a group photo opportunity. It would be wonderful if you can hold your mementos as well for the picture.